Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Midnight Review. I'm your host, Matthew. I'm joined by Phoenix of Phoenix's Void on Twitch.tv and YouTube. Hey. I'm joined by Thomas from Intro Nerded on YouTube and Twitch.tv. Today, we are reviewing 3 films: Godzilla 2014, Kong Skull Island 2017, Godzilla King of the Monsters 2019. This is all going to lead up into Godzilla v. Kong, which for us comes out in like 2 weeks. 2 or 3 weeks, right?
Yeah, for them it should be coming out in like 1 to 2. It's about a 1 week turnaround period.
So this is the knowledge check segment. My knowledge with this is pretty base level. I've seen the early 2000s movie and then these. I know a little bit because I read up on stuff like this because I'm a nerd. I'm a nerd. That's just how it is. And that's about it. Like, I'm nowhere near the expert. Nowhere near MCU level knowledge.
Yeah, dude, your MCU level knowledge is fucking
ridiculous.
I've actually been watching Godzilla for a long time. Because I watched it when I was a kid. The 2000, what was it? It was like 2001 Godzilla.
Is it one?
Dude, I don't remember.
That's the one where they lay eggs.
Yeah, that's the one where it lays eggs, and like the beginning of it, I always remember the beginning of it because it's fucking Inspector Gadget, and he's like just digging through worms, just like these worms. There's a Godzilla, and there's worms. Yeah, dude, it's Inspector Gadget. He's the main character. Yeah, it's just, and then Godzilla has Velociraptor babies, and they have to go to the submarine to kill the Velociraptor babies. Yeah, shit was wild. But I've watched that one, and then I've watched some of the, both the Japanese ones, like newer ones and older ones. Like, I've watched the ones where Godzilla was literally a rubber suit. I've never watched the original Godzilla, which I've wanted to for a very long time. I think I've started. That's the one where, like, they actually treat it as kind of like a horror movie. Like, because the entire reason that Godzilla was made is kind of to talk about, like, the nukes and everything. Like, basically, Godzilla is a metaphor for nuclear explosion. Like, that's what it was for in Godzilla. So I've watched that one, and I've also watched Godzilla 2000, which is actually pretty fucking sick. It's one of the Japanese ones, and he fights this asteroid monster from space. They also use the suits, but it's very good. And I also know a little bit about the new Japanese movie called Shin Godzilla, which is directed by the guy that made Neon Genesis Evangelion, which is a very good anime that I really like. But I got a little bit more than base knowledge, I would say.
I do want to backtrack though. I have seen the anime Godzilla that's on Netflix. I watched the first part and maybe the second.
I haven't watched any of the anime ones. I've watched just like the actual like live action Japanese ones.
Alright, Thomas.
Alright. My knowledge on Godzilla is I've watched Godzilla 20 which one was it? 2014? No. And then I watched Kong Skull Island and Godzilla King of the Monsters.
You haven't seen the one with Jack Black?
No.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, that's Kong. Yeah, King Kong. That one's that's solid.
So good, especially when they land and all the bugs are huge.
Yeah, that's actually tight, man. Honestly, you should watch the Peter Jackson one. That's a fun movie. I enjoy it. I kind of want to watch it again.
It still looks good, man. The graphics in the movie hold up.
I don't doubt you, man. I remember those leeches. I was terrified of. I was terrified of those leeches.
Now the centipede's like crawling on that dude's back, and he just turns around. Just a massive bug.
Yeah, dude, that shit was.
That's the way he beats up 2 T-Rexes, bro. He takes 2
dude.
Breaks that thing.
Yeah. Oh my god, yeah. There's that, and man, the game was actually pretty good for it too. I actually enjoyed the game.
Okay, so we're gonna start off talking about the first Godzilla movie, Godzilla 2014. How we felt about it, how it was, issues, concerns, thoughts. Give it all to me right now.
So Godzilla 2014.
Yeah.
I thought it was. Oh my god! So Godzilla 2014, I really did not care for that much. Godzilla 2014, I thought was honestly pretty boring. It's definitely the most boring out of all of the Godzilla franchise movies so far. Like of the 3 installments that we have from King of Monsters, Kong Skull Island, and it was definitely pretty boring. It had some cool parts. Like I won't deny that. Like there were some parts that I really liked about it, but like overall, I found it quite boring. Are we going to talk like more into detail in a second?
Yeah, we can get into detail.
Yeah, we should get into detail about every movie.
Yeah, Godzilla 2014 is the least, I feel like, action-packed in the sense of, like, there's not as many monsters as there is in the rest of the movies. Or there's not as many scenes with the monsters. So, yeah, it's pretty lowball, and a lot of the scenes kind of... It's just one of those things, like... Man, I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, we'll get into details about it, but like, yeah, it's boring, kind of like for a Godzilla movie, it shouldn't be so boring, but geez, it's kind of a snore fest.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, I felt the same that you guys feel about it. It was like I remember when it came out, it was massive, and I remember it being really freaking good. As
Same.
for what I watched a few days ago when I rewatched it, it was all right. Like so, the action.
Yeah, it was
action parts
all right.
were
I
good.
mean,
the military parts were always good. Like I liked the characters well enough.
yeah, I thought the characters were fine. Like
It was
they were-
definitely slack.
it was hard to get into and to like stay into. That's for sure. Like it was honestly very hard for me to get through the entire film without like, pausing for a bit because I was just getting bored. And I had to like take a second. I had to pause it like multiple times. So it took me a long time to finish that movie because I was just getting bored the entire time.
Yeah.
But I mean, like I will say there were cool things. Like Godzilla's design is good. The Muton designs were pretty good.
Yeah, the Mutos. Yeah.
And I like the entire like I like the story. I think the story's pretty cool. They go so in depth on like Bryan Cranston and his family, but I really did not care about them that much. Like I cared about like them at first when like the nuclear reactor was going off and everything, but it was really hard to care because it's like there were these two things fighting in the movie. It's like I want to see a giant fucking monster fight. I want to see Godzilla fight. I want to see him fight with monsters and everything. And then they're like, well, actually, pay attention to this drama part. And, oh, it's so dramatic. It's so serious. It's so tense. Look at how tense it is. And I'm just like, man, I really don't care.
Yeah, but that's the only way those movies will work, though. It's like
But
the
that's
monster
not
part,
true.
oh, cool, but if you go all in monster all the time, that movie's not going to last that long. You got to have characters pushing the story ahead.
Well, it shouldn't be
voice.
2 hours long. That movie was way too long. 2 hours is way too long.
Yeah.
It could've been an hour and a half, and they could have cut out so much film.
It was definitely
also,
slower. to say.
I don't agree with that. Like, I mean, geez, we're about to talk about Kong, and that thing was like action packed, and it was always going. And like, instead of being like so heavy on the drama parts, it was just, really fun. It was very, very fun. It definitely was tense, but that tension was done so much better. And I actually liked the characters because they were likable, not because it just like kind of force fed this. Oh, isn't this sad? Look at how sad this is. These people are so sad. They have such sad lives.
Yeah, and that's where it improved upon.
It improved so much. It did. It is miles better. But yeah. I mean, the things that I liked though, the final fight was good. It was good enough. Like, I liked when the EMP went off every time when that monster was doing the EMP.
Like
I thought that
stomping.
was- Yeah, like especially in the end when like all the planes are falling out of the sky. That was just dope. That was so
Mhm.
sick. That was good. I didn't like how they killed Bryan Cranston. Like, it felt pretty unceremonious how he died. Just falling off a bridge from the monster. It was like, didn't have a lot of impact on me.
Yeah.
There was that. It was weird. And this is going to go back to the Quicksilver and Wanda stuff, but it was weird seeing
Elizabeth
London.
Olsen,
Dude, it
Aaron
was.
Taylor Johnson.
I couldn't
Jesse
stop
Eisenberg.
thinking about it.
Freaking out.
Yeah.
Like that was weird, dude. That
was
was a
like,
weird
man.
scene,
And it's funny because they
Yeah.
went from that movie straight into Avengers 2 based on the timeline of those films. And it's just wild because now we have this theme going of Elizabeth Olsen 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, dude. Right? Like, it is really.
She's got to
interesting.
be in the Snyder Cut. That's all I can say. She's got to be in the
Nah.
Snyder Cut.
I don't think she is, right?
No, she's not.
I was about to say.
What if she
Surprise
was?
guest appearance by Elizabeth Olsen in the Snyder Cut, just to accommodate us.
Be interesting. Godzilla 2014. It was boring. I wanted more monster fight, and like that's another thing too. Like they teased the monsters so much, but barely show anything. Like literally in the Hawaii scene where Godzilla and the monsters finally like walk up to each other, it cuts to daylight. It cuts to the next day. That was so
Yeah.
so irritating.
And to be fair, though, this is this studio's first time going for something on a scale this big. So, like, I see why they did it, and it built anticipation. And I remember when the movie came out, it was really freaking popular. People were loving it, and it does hold up. Like, I don't necessarily hate it compared to all the other ones.
I don't
It's
think
not as good, but on its own, yeah, it's not that bad.
I do not agree.
We'll get to ratings later, but
What did you like about it then? What did you?
I like the whole the builds up. The build up's really great, especially that the train scene. Just the anticipation, like they were painting Godzilla. It was kind of making you feel like antsy about it, and nervous. Like when they're walking across the train tracks because they're delivering the nuke to see if it's clear. Just like that whole scene, and there's that creature that one of the Mutos is just standing there in the freaking dark, just waiting on them. I just like stuff like that when they were jumping out of the air. The cinematography in these films is really good. There are some really good shots.
Honestly, I thought the movie was way too gray. It was very, very gray. It was
Yeah, and
extremely gray.
like
And,
I said, this was a small studio going for something on a massive scale.
but it's
So, like,
not
I
a
get it.
small studio though. It's fucking.
It
what
was
is it,
for
Warner
movies like
Brothers?
that. No, it's Lionsgate.
Lionsgate.
So it was at that time. It wasn't. They hadn't done anything on that scale. They somehow had the monster rights, but like I don't even think they made Godzilla the early 2000s. Like I don't remember them being that big. And it makes sense. And you know you have to hide the CGI because CGI at the time was like really good, but still, it's not as good as it was today. And so like I get it. Like they were trying to hide some stuff. So like the dark shots are like really really good to hide some of the more technical things that people would notice and be like, that doesn't look good.
I know. No, they had a lot of money put into it. Obviously, it's Godzilla. Like, it definitely. I feel like it definitely did not do it. And I can't really. If it was like an actual small studio, maybe, but it wasn't. It's still Lionsgate. They're still a very large studio.
Yeah, but at that time, that's their biggest thing that they had done to date was that movie. Can you name anything else on that scale that Lionsgate has done before that point?
I don't think that's important when looking at a movie. I think you got to look at the movie for the movie itself. It's not really.
Well, I
about,
do,
how
but
big
you
the
gotta
studio is.
cut slack though because that was their first outing for something that massive. They did a decent job. Like it's not a terrible movie. It pales in comparison to the other ones, but overall, just by itself, if it had come out without like because it got a sequel. I'm not sure if a sequel was planned from the get-go, but it got a sequel. Like it was able to hold up. Compared to what we have today, not very good. But back then, that was a solid film.
Nah, because that's not even that far ago. Like that came out in 2014. It's only 6 years ago.
Yeah. It's still a huge deal when it came out.
Yeah, it's fine that it's a huge deal when it came out. It doesn't mean it's good.
Well, it does. It was praised heavily. That's why it was a big deal when it came out. Not just because it was Godzilla.
No.
Because nobody liked the early 2000s movie. That movie did crap when it came out.
Yeah, it did not do good because it was a bad movie. But this one, it still doesn't excuse it for being a boring movie.
Yeah, we're going to agree to this.
No,
Some parts
I
were.
don't agree. I
We're
don't
going to
agree.
agree to this.
That's
We're gonna
fine. We
agree.
can just disagree. We can just
Yeah.
disagree.
That's it. We're agreeing to disagree. That's what that's saying.
Okay.
I do want to talk about his family. Do you think? Because in some versions, Godzilla is a female who lays eggs. Do you think maybe in this next film or upcoming films we might figure out that it's a female, and we'll maybe see some Godzilla babies?
Possibly. I did so in the beginning, like when they're looking at the like giant skeleton, like I'm guessing that's Godzilla's parents, possibly.
Oh yeah, because there's
so
that
the-
like one
the-
sack
The
that
whole
was like
thing about it
opened up.
is that it is a member of his species that the parasites latched into and freaking hidden until it died.
Yeah. They hid inside of it. Honestly, I thought the beginning, like the first 30 minutes of the film, are actually pretty good. Like, I do want to say that. Like, it's just I feel it loses all of that. Like all that momentum it has in the beginning. It like every single part of it, like from the monsters and everything, I feel it loses it.
I also feel like it didn't have a very strong story structure from like the very beginning, to where like they're like, oh yeah, it's your father's birthday, and like he got up early because he's got to do work and things like that. That just feels weak. Like
Yeah,
I feel like you could have done something else there.
They could have done a lot, man. They could have done, and I kind of hate that. It feels like wasted potential, kind of, you know.
It does.
But you know, like we were saying, we'll agree to disagree.
I agree with you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
you
know we agree. I know we agree. I'm just saying. You- Thomas, what do you have to say about the movie? You haven't really gotten to say a lot about that.
I agree with you on it, Phoenix. That like even though Corey's trying to cut slack for it for being a smaller company, dog, we gotta keep an actual like overall like hey, every
exactly.
kind of movie gets treated the same no matter how small or how big you are. So.
Exactly.
Yeah, even though it was a smaller company, and yeah, even though like at the time it was big, it just doesn't matter that much.
Yeah, exactly. It's just boring. It's not a very good movie.
Exactly. Yep.
I agree to disagree, gentlemen. All right, let's move on to
Kong Skull Island. Did you have anything else you wanted to add about Godzilla?
I did. So, how do we feel about his relationship? I'm starting a theme here towards humans at the beginning of 2014 one versus the end of 2014.
Ambivalent, both ways, both at the beginning and the end.
So, like, you think he both disliked and liked humans? Because
I
he
just don't
shows
think he-
apprehension.
I don't think he cared. Like, I think the reason he cared and fought humans is because they were fucking shooting him. But the reason they were shooting him was because, like, it's like the scene where he just wrecks through the boats, you know? Like, he was literally just running through that shit. Yeah, that makes sense that people would fire on him, but, like, he obviously got pissed about that and then started firing on people. I think it's just, like, very much a lack of care. Like, Godzilla doesn't care. Like, we're just puny little Earth things. What he wants to do is kill the giant monster. He doesn't care about it.
Yeah. We're just kind of there doing our own
But he
thing.
is the protector of Earth. So he cares
Yeah,
about
but we
Earth
don't
more than he
know
does about
that.
Just humans.
Yeah, we don't really know that. Yeah, I'd agree with that. We don't really know.
To where like we're just
you can
scared
gather
because we
that by the
don't
end of the
under.
movie.
Well, yeah, but like
Together, he wants to fight the other big monster, but that's it. Like, it's not like he's some sort of like, oh, I'm here to save you, my little baby humans, you my little baby human pets, and I love you so much. Blah, 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 blah.
right.
You know, it's not really like that. Like, it's kind of like in Kong, how Kong is protecting everything on the island. You know. Well, no, it's
Well,
actually
Kong's
not
not-
'cause Kong
yeah,
actually
Kong's
cares.
king.
Kong
Kong's-
actually cares. Yeah,
Kong
Godzilla
cares and is
shit.
protecting everybody else from everything else. That's right.
Exactly. No,
I mean, he does help out with
shit.
some of the some of the like animals and things. So
Yeah, exactly. He cares about the animals and like he actually cares about everything. Like Kong is definitely more of a less ambivalent and actually cares about everything.
yeah.
Now we can move on to Kong Skull Island. The gold.
Oh, you don't have any more questions?
No, not well. Actually, we can. This one's just kind of roll
We
for
can
a
talk
scare
about
film,
like specific things like you guys like the design of the monsters, like the Metons? And Godzilla himself for his first outing back.
The Godzilla design on itself is the best to do. And
I think it's
he looks kind of like my cat Oliver. Just a big man, just a big hunk of meat, just walking around.
yeah, Godzilla's a
Yeah.
Godzilla is definitely a fucking thick boy.
Yeah, he is.
That's fine. Like whatever. We're gonna have different movie opinions.
Yeah, exactly.
But what I wanted to say, what did we think of the characters, like individually? What did you guys think of Bryan Cranston?
Who?
You don't have to say who was?
I don't know any of his
Who
characters.
was he? Who was he?
I don't know any
I
of
don't
them.
remember his name.
I like the
Useless.
So the dad was cool. He's
Because his dad had the
dad
code.
was cool, and then he died. It was
Yeah.
His dad was using like some type of thing to figure out how they were communicating, and then that's
Yeah.
just kind of there.
We found out the
for the
EMP
movie.
thing. Like
Yeah,
they really
that he-
went. I just feel like they kind of think the audience is stupid. Like they were just like,
Yeah.
EMP field. You guys don't know about this, but I do. Bryan Cranston. I know about EMP fields. And they talk about it every goddamn time that an EMP goes off. They're like, it's an EMP.
Right, and I'm like, guys, this is the third EMP we've seen. I think we all know what an EMP is.
Exactly.
It's like, no, but it's an EMP. Do you not know what an EMP is? Here,
I
let's
like-
say it again.
I like when they actually show it and they're like, this bomb? Yeah, an EMP's not going to take it out. Just so you know. That's what it is. It's like,
Yeah.
there's no.
Okay,
they
yeah,
don't
so
I don't think we're intelligent enough to watch the movie. Man.
the San Francisco part, just everything with the military and getting to that bomb and stuff, like, it feels intense. Like, I feel like focusing on the humans was maybe not necessarily the right way to go, but it was useful. Like, it did feel intense, especially, like, all the military operations, like, getting to the bomb, getting that bomb, getting ready to get it to go off, getting it away from the city before it goes off, trying to kill the monsters. Just, like, everything about it. It did feel okay.
Honestly, I don't really disagree with that. Like,
Yeah.
I felt like it was okay. It's just the execution of it. Like, I feel like they set up everything well. It's just they didn't execute in a way that I really liked it and cared about it. You know?
Yeah, exactly. I
Like-
couldn't say it any better.
Because, like, when I was first thinking about it, I was like, you know what? I like everything they have in this film. It's just the way that they're doing everything is just like. I feel like they don't think I'm smart enough to watch the movie. Like, one.
Are you?
Well, I don't need to be told fucking about an EMP a million times, you know? Like,
EMP inbound! Yeah,
exactly,
second.
bro. It's stupid, dude. It's just, it's dumb little things like that. And it plagues the movie that could be way better, you know?
Yeah.
So Bryan Cranston, man, and then his son, and then Elizabeth Olsen's like a nurse or something. I don't
Yeah,
care
she's a
about any
nurse
of
that
them.
movie.
I don't care about any of them.
Yeah.
They're not important. They're not important characters, and I don't feel a connection to any of them, sadly.
Honestly, they just kind of come in and then they're like, "Hey, look, this is who we are, and this is what I do," and I'm dead.
I'm a nurse, and we have a son together, and we care about our son.
Right.
It's just like you guys,
Also, I gave up my son to a random woman on the bus out of town. I have to make sure the bus is okay. I did appreciate that a lot. I was like, dude, I would never. I'd rather my child die with me than get crushed on a bus and I make it out and not know that my child had been crushed in a bus.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
The intensity in that movie is good. It does
Okay,
have
I
good
will
intensity.
say, there is one scene that I do remember very fondly, and it's just the bus driver when he's on the
Yes,
bridge in
just
San
takes
Francisco.
it
He
off.
just guns it.
Yes. Dude, I looked and I was like, let's go, bus driver, let's go.
I was like, this
He
this
saved
guy's
them kids'
reckless,
life, man.
bro. He was reckless, but he did
He-
save their lives.
He did, man.
Yeah.
I did really enjoy that. Because that scene is so tense and the bus driver's just like, nah, I'm not dying here. He's just
Exactly,
going.
bro. Dude, that was a good scene. I will say that. Well, I guess I can talk about. Okay, so good scenes. The bus driver.
Yep.
Don't you say that to me. You're a troll. You're a troll. You're a troll. Don't you dare. Don't you dare.
Phoenix, I think you meant to say good scene.
Yeah.
Don't you dare.
No, there. I mean, there were.
I mean, the scenes were all right, but like,
Yeah, they were just all right. There wasn't anything really that good. Like I liked.
especially like when he's like
Godzilla
closing like
shot
the.
fire breath, but like even that, I was like kind of disappointed. Honestly, I was like,
What?
Wow,
You don't
that's-
like his nuclear bomb?
Yeah, but it was so much cooler in King of the Monsters.
Oh
It's
my
like,
God,
after watching
yeah, it
King
was.
of the
It's an
Monsters-
upgrade.
Oh. Yeah, but once you see what it,
actually, they're two different blasts. So the blue blast is the nuclear whatever you call it, and then the second one that it does is like a pulsing type deal.
the actual like nuclear wave, that shit was tight.
Yeah.
That's oh god, that was so cool. But yeah, man, there's just all the scenes that I liked were just okay. Besides the bus driver scene, that shit was that was really good. I will say I really did enjoy that scene, but everything else I just kind of liked. There wasn't anything that I was like, man, this is epic. Even like when the monsters like are fighting and we actually get to see it, like it was not as impactful as I remembered it when I first watched it.
and I think maybe that's because we've seen like Godzilla King of the Monsters and we got to see like really good
Yeah,
like
exactly.
interaction
Like,
with
seeing
them.
something, like better than it, that's executed better, definitely kind of like sours the taste of the film.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I think we can move on to.
Yeah, I think we can. I just want to make sure we. Yeah, dude, the Golden Boy. Yes. Oh my god. I'm so
Kong
excited.
Skull Island.
Yes, Kong Skull Island.
Absolutely the best film.
Yeah, it's actually a goat film. Like I
It
really
really
love
It is.
I love that movie. That shit.
I was
Yeah.
rewatching it again, and I was like, "This is actually really good."
It's actually really.
It is, and it has so many like tiny details that kind of like tie into it all.
It does,
And it's
man.
really cool.
It is so damn satisfying. I love it. I love it so much.
They really went in and like did work on it, and like did their
Yeah.
research, and that was good.
And Kong
Like-
movies never black for me.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
the 2000, the one with Jack Black, that
That
wasn't
was-
a slap.
that was
that one
yeah,
was
that was fun.
really good.
It was a really cool movie because Peter Jackson really did some crazy shit with it, and I feel like there were like kind of semi callbacks in Skull Island too, with all the
There
different
definitely
monsters
were.
and stuff.
Yeah,
Man, so dude, just from the very beginning, Kong Skull Island like is enthralling when the planes are crashing, and you just see.
at the end of World War II,
Yes, dude.
the
Yeah.
planes coming down that island,
I loved that. Yeah.
Kong just up there. Yes.
Yes, it was so
Mhm.
good. Dude. I was just like, oh, I loved it. Like fucking the American and the Japanese dude just fighting each other.
Yep.
Like the American just like starts shooting all of his clips on him. He just unloads it and then
Misses.
Japanese guy, yeah, he misses every shot. The Japanese guy unsheathes his fucking katana. It's like, bro. And then
It was
their
very,
fight scene, bro. The fight scene was just so good too, man. Like, it's just so good.
Yeah.
Such a good intro.
And then when you think it's like all quiet, all of a sudden, like, you know, the freaking
Yes. They're about to
the
kill each other.
they're about to kill each other, or like later on in that movie, freaking when the spider looking thing that has like the bamboo legs just starts like
Yes.
stepping through people, like, oh my
It
god.
was so cool. Like, there are just so many good scenes in that movie, man.
Yeah.
Like, it just really didn't have any low spots for me, man. Like, I think one of the low spots was kind of like towards the end, and it wasn't even really a low spot. I was just kind of like, it definitely feels like it could have ended a bit sooner than it did, and that they kind of just like started killing people just cause.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, especially the dude that like just sacrificed himself with the grenade. Like, that dude got it done wrong, man. That was
Yeah, he did.
He just gets fucking punched to the side. By the
Yeah.
monster.
Just gets freaking thrown to the side. It's like, oh,
Yeah. The monster just like didn't care, man. Just flung him off.
it's like, hey, do you think I'm stupid or something?
Get out!
I watched the original freaking Godzilla. I know what they're
I know
talking about
that.
with the EMPs.
I know what they're talking about. It was a smart monster. That monster can join the movie club.
Yeah, it can be part of the Midnight Critics.
Gosh, the movie's just so good. The action's really good. I like the characters, and I like that even though there's a lot of characters, they don't like go too much into any of them. They like give them all an appropriate amount of screen time to make us care about them.
It's Sam Jackson.
Well, so is John Goodman and Tom.
Oh, that's a
Yeah.
good point. Yep.
Tom Hiddleston. We got Brie Larson coming in.
Hmm. Yeah, Brie Larson.
We got no, I'm thinking of Monsters. No, we got Corey Hawkins. I like him. He's in What would you guys think? He's in Straight Outta Compton.
And I like how like Samuel L. Jackson and like I feel like the main characters were like Samuel L. Jackson and John Goodman near the beginning, and then like it slowly turns into Tom Hiddleston being the main character. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, it kind of moves the direction of like who you're focusing on away from who it was.
Exactly. I think that was really interesting and done very well. Like it felt very natural. Like the movie just felt so like naturally just good. I can't think of anything like I absolutely like hate in the film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It definitely wasn't like dull or boring. All the monster sequences were very, very cool. The characters were all good. Dude, now that movie had actually very good cinematography, and the lighting and setting was all very, very good. Like, I was so happy with it.
Okay, so we are on Kong Skull Island. Thomas, how are you feeling about the film?
I really like the focus on the detail, like making sure that like it makes sense around that era, and like at the same time,
Yes,
they make sure, hey, if it's from 1940s because of the P-51 or the B-52 or things like that, it actually like makes sense and it actually like comes together correctly and it looks correct. It's not just kind of thrown together as like, oh yeah, this is a bomber from back then, and it just kind of is some random bomber. They make it something that's iconic, like a P-51 Mustang and a Zero. Like, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, that was really cool. I like the entire the boat they made out of the plane. That was
Yep.
That entire sequence was just it was very good.
And they had to fix it up and everything. Like, yeah.
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 It was actually a good little just like, let's fix up the plane. Like I actually really enjoyed it. Like those things are usually really cheesy and dumb, but it's so fun, man. It's such a fun, just good action monster movie.
It really
It
is.
is a really good one.
It's honestly one of the best. Like after watching it again, I'm like, man, this thing is.
It stands out above the crowd. Like it really
does. It's really special. It's a
Mhm.
really special film. I'm really glad to have watched it again. That's honestly one I could definitely watch again and enjoy.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that one and King of the Monsters are going to be the only two on this list that I watched again. Or I will watch again. And just have
I want to watch King of the Monsters again because I've only seen it one time.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
You haven't seen it once?
yeah, I only seen it once, and that was when I watched it recently, like a couple weeks ago.
Hey,
Man, I'm trying to think of just what else to say about Kong Skull Island because it's just like the monsters are cool, like the bamboo spider scene was badass.
okay, then the Skull Eaters are perfect villains.
Yeah, the Skull Eaters were.
They're really good to go up against the Kong.
They
And
are.
This is baby Kong. This isn't an adult Kong.
Yeah, dude,
This is
exactly.
Yeah.
Like I like that they only talked about that once. Like, I don't think they talked about it a second time, but they only mentioned it once that he was a baby.
Yeah, and he's the last of his species, but he's still very young. Because these Titans, they live 4 years.
Exactly.
They don't have a 100-year lifespan. They can go on for centuries.
Mm-hmm.
Godzilla's proved that he uses radiation to stay alive.
Exactly, man.
And Kong's different from him in that way because he doesn't. From what we can tell, doesn't really have an effect on him.
Right. I guess one thing I can think of that I would criticize with the movie is just kind of the ending. Like, I don't know if it necessarily feels rushed, but they tried to pack a lot of shit into it. Basically, I'd say it kind of starts after the Kong gets lit on fire and everything. I feel like after that happens and the giant skull crusher, whatever it's called, skull crawler. What was it called?
It is Skullcrawler.
Skullcrawler. After the big one shows up, it's just like it definitely a lot of stuff happens really quickly, and they just like start killing off characters and a lot of shit.
For some reason, that also reminded me of.
They were getting rid of them slowly, and then like as it was like ending, it was like the skull thing popped up, and then all of a sudden it's daylight, and they're still running from it, and somehow it's like only 10 feet behind them. And the dude's like, I gotta freaking blow myself up.
Yep, and then the Skull Eater's just like, you're not getting me.
Exactly, man.
It just throws them, but I was like, oh.
It felt like an unnecessary death. It felt like they really did.
It was heartbreaking. He wanted to save them.
Yeah,
and he wasn't able to.
it was just so stupid. I just thought that was kind of a dumb one. I thought the other ones were nice because they were like unexpected, but that one was like a big showy one. It's shot to the side, which is funny. Honestly, it's not like bad, but it's definitely not something that I really enjoyed, I guess I could say.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
But
That's very.
besides that was good. Like I even liked that Brie Larson, even though she had a connection like kind of thing with Kong, it wasn't anything crazy.
It
was just,
wasn't.
like-
Yeah.
Like Kong didn't stop fighting the skull crawler until he thought it was dead to go like pick her up out of the water. You know, like I was glad that nothing like that happened. Like where Kong's like, need love, pretty lady. I
Clap
love
lady cheeks. Clap human cheeks.
Jesus
Clap human cheeks.
Degenerate.
Human cheeks getting clapped.
But I'm glad they didn't like do that because that's kind of what the old movies were about. You
Yeah.
know, it's like Kong, like Kong loved women. Kong loved women very much.
Kong's gonna slap these cheeks against
Yeah.
the Empire State Building.
Yeah, exactly. Thank God. they didn't
Destroy
do
New
that.
York.
He picked her up
Destroy-
out of the water after he thought the Skullcrawler was dead, and it wasn't.
Yeah.
And he murders it by just ripping out its guts.
Yeah.
It was so
I
tight.
feel like that's a callback to the other films. The
Mhm.
blonde lady gets saved by Kong.
Yeah, exactly. I
It
think
definitely wasn't the main focus point. They just did that to throw that.
so. Exactly. And I'm glad it wasn't a big focus point. I kind of would have not liked that.
Yeah, that also reminded me of that another really good part in that movie where he's like washing off his wound after the helicopter spun into him or something like that.
Yeah,
'cause he's
dude.
smart.
And-
He's smarter than the other creatures.
Yeah, he's washing off his wound,
Yeah.
and then he
like,
freaking like reaches in, grabs the freaking like
The octopus
ginormous
thing is just
like
fake
squid or
death.
octopus and like
Yeah.
freaking starts beating him up and then just takes him with him as a meal. I'm like, oh, that's just so cool. Like that's just unnecessary detail, but at the same time, like I love it just because it adds just a little bit more of like a insight on how Kong is just so powerful in this
Yeah.
world.
So I really like the whole idea of Skull Island being like this little hidden island away from most of humanity. Except later we learn that there are natives that live there and enjoy and live with the king. But like the whole idea of that island being like completely off the radar and holding
Yeah.
all those monsters and creatures and stuff, and Kong being the one keeping them in check, stopping them from doing things, protecting the whole Hollow Earth, which is a theory that they really heavily
Yeah,
iterate
they
this
really went
movie
into
and
the
the next.
they really went into the Hollow Earth theory. Which is really cool.
Yeah.
We finally
And
start to learn a bit more about Monarch and everything, which is nice.
For real. And it is really, it comes to fruition in later on movies. Correct.
But Kong using tools. Kong was
Yes.
using tools so well.
He used the tree weapon, he used the part of
tree
that boat.
weapon, he used the part of the boat. Dude, he used the the chain that was hooked up to the boat rotor. She was tight, dude.
Yup.
Just Kong is very, very smart. Kong knows what he's doing. And I'm excited to see what tools he uses in the new movie because he knows how to use some tools. Dude.
We see him with a skull axe, which will probably have like a skull eater skull on it. Just different stuff.
That'd be tight, like if he starts making his own weapons and stuff.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, we see him because he grabs that tree branch, he grabs the tree, rips off all the tree branches, and makes it like a little pointy edge to go ham at this skull eater that's going to attack. Like he does have a sense of what he's doing because he is really smart. Like that's his advantage. He is smart.
He is, dude, and he's so agile too. Like he's so much more agile than Godzilla.
Yeah, you see him climbing like mountains and stuff in that movie.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like he be moving fast, bro.
He does, and I think that's gonna give him a pretty big advantage against freaking Kong. Or not Kong,
Yeah.
against Godzilla.
In
When
the
we go
cage fight of the
against each other.
century.
Dude,
Yup.
it's gonna be such a good cage fight. I'm really excited for it now. Did you have any more questions about Skull Island?
I didn't have questions. I do want to talk about one of the characters because I really like this story. I think it's really cool. So the whole idea of Samuel Jackson's character, being the what is he, a colonel? He's something.
General, I
Being-
think. But yeah.
Yeah, getting told that they basically lost the war, and like
Yes.
the whole idea is that he has to beat Kong because he's lost and he can't deal with this loss after
Mhm.
everything that he's done, he needs a win, and just
Yes.
go after Kong, and like the whole payoff of that, how he gets a lot of his men killed, just
He
so that he
does.
can taste the victory after losing.
Mhm.
And I think that's like that's a really strong thing that they throw in to guide the story a little bit.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to say that like I really enjoyed it. I thought it was
No.
really cool.
I agree. I enjoyed that too. I thought it was done pretty well, honestly. Like, I really enjoyed Samuel L. Jackson's little side story. I enjoyed John C. Reilly's story as well, just like him being the dude that stuck
Yeah.
there. And then at the end, he gets to go home and he gets to have a hot
He
dog. and a
does.
beer,
Yeah,
like,
that
on
was
his-
really nice. Yeah.
It was very, very nice. Like,
Dude,
seeing
this
that-
movie did the human emotion part better than 2014 did.
It did.
It did, yeah.
All the characters felt very human, and that was really, really nice. Like, it was a damn good characters. Damn good characters that I actually cared about.
Yeah, it wasn't like, oh yeah, you just showed up in the middle of this. Oh yeah, hold my child.
Exactly. Like, it was nothing like that. It was,
Take my child. I believe in you, random stranger.
Well, I mean, it was a random stranger. It was her friend, but also like we didn't know their history, so like for all we know, they could have been coworkers for 2 months.
exactly right.
It was really strange.
It was very strange. There were a bunch of strange character interactions in that one. Like, the character
Yeah.
interactions in Kong were very good.
I did feel like their back to 2014. I did feel like their relationship though was better. Elizabeth Olsen and Aaron Taylor Johnson. I feel like their
definitely.
characters' relationship
I
definitely
feel like
felt
I
real.
feel like they had a good relationship and everything. It's just we didn't get to see it except for like when he was at home, and that was it. Like,
And that was right after he got back from service and everything,
Yeah, and then you
Like,
see
that
it at
was-
the end because he's trying to get the whole movie is him trying to get home, and then
Mhm.
tagging along with these military operations in order to get back to San Francisco.
yeah, exactly. It's just I feel
Yeah, I
like
thought it
they
was
tried
cool.
to do so much in it, but I think they tried to do too much, and they should have focused on a couple other angles. It's like kind of feels nonsensical how much it jumps around in all these different places,
Yeah,
which I think was done better in King of the Monsters, because that's another one where they jumped around in a bunch of different places.
yep. Good
Like,
segue.
It was handled a lot better than King of the Monsters.
yeah. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I'm jumping on that segue with you. Yeah, so King of the Monsters. How did we feel about just the monsters overall?
Dog.
Movie as a whole. All I know
I-
is Millie Bobby Brown was Madison. That's about it.
Dude,
I just wanted to
I
see- I
love
just wanted
King
to
of the
see more
Monsters.
monsters. I just
Dude,
wanted to see more
and-
monsters.
So do you remember like the map
You
they
didn't get
showed?
enough. You didn't get
Dude,
enough.
well, like, we barely got to see the mammoth thing. We got to see it for like
That's
a
true.
second.
The mammoth thing they did.
And the
they did show
crab
off a
thing.
lot more. That was
Gosh,
weird.
I wanted to see all of those things more.
And I wish they would have all fought, like instead of just walking around.
Well, they have to
I
bow
wouldn't
down
do
to the
that.
king. That's their king now, Godzilla.
Yeah, I know that, but like at the same time, it just seemed odd.
Right.
And you see Rodan, which is the fire demon,
But
Yeah,
do you
Rodan.
remember?
switching sides.
The
Yeah.
pterodactyl.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah, once he realizes it, and I love the interaction because, like, Rodan killed Mothra, and Mothra and Godzilla have like a symbiotic relationship. So
No. He didn't kill him. It was King Ghidorah. King Ghidorah killed him.
but Rodan was helping fight Mothra.
Yeah, Rodan
Yeah,
did a
he
lot of
was,
damage to
And then
Mothra.
Mothra stabbed Rodan, which I thought was so sick.
Yeah,
I just once again, I thought the human part was better for sure, but I still did not care about it that much.
dude. But the amount of like Easter eggs in this one was so much higher. It seemed like if you were paying attention at the same time of like watching the movie and everything else, it was like, oh yeah, check out this map of all these monsters that are intersecting, and you had
Yeah.
like Skull Island, and like you had it
They
like circled, and like
Yeah.
it had Kong moving towards this fight. He just never got the time to get there. So this dude must have been swimming in the sea to get to like the
Well,
king.
no, he was one of the ones that didn't leave. There was movement on Skull Island, but he didn't leave his island. He stayed there because that's his home. He never left it. That's what you see at the end of the movie, is that monsters are starting to head towards Skull Island because he's still there. He never left.
Oh yeah, they do show that.
Yeah, he never left Skull
Is that like an after credit scene?
No, it was happening during the credits. And
Oh,
there
okay.
also was after credit scene in both this one and Godzilla. No, in Godzilla
Kong.
King of the Monsters and Kong. They were
Kong's
both after
one.
credit scenes.
Yeah, Godzilla first one. After credits.
It did not. I don't think they were expecting to get a sequel. Monsters, how do we feel about human characters in this?
Man, the mom sucks.
I actually really do like it because like there's like people who you really hate, like the mom, who can go die because she was like had it all set up from the beginning
Dude,
and
she was like
God.
manipulating Millie Bobby Brown the entire time.
Well, yeah, and then
Dying and
she
Millie
acted
Bobby
like she was
Brown's
so
just like-
shocked when like the people showed up, and then she was like, "Oh yeah, no, let's go."
Sorry, I'm just lying to you.
Yeah, I've just been lying to
Yeah.
everybody,
Yeah.
but don't worry about it, daughter.
That
Well,
is-
her
that is
daughter
good, though.
knew a little bit about it.
That's true because she was hestant
She
on.
just didn't know the full scope.
Yeah, she knew that something was off, but she didn't know who, like how far.
She thought, oh, well, mom's just trying to save the earth, and that's going to be freaking epic, right? And it's like,
Yeah, that's how Millie Bobby Brown.
your mom's a war criminal, a terrorist.
Yeah, basically.
Your mom's murdered 6,000 men. Your mom's nothing.
Dude, they did kill a lot of people.
Dude, millions of people.
And I love that was like in the sense of like they weren't shying away from the fact where like, oh yeah, here comes freaking Rodan and just his fire wings, and it killed basically a entire like city who hadn't evacuated yet.
The
Like, oh
Rodan fight where he's fighting the fighter pilots in the air.
yeah. He spins and everything. I'm like, oh,
Yeah, it was tight, dude.
it is. It's so tight. And then I'm sad that freaking I can't remember his name, and I probably should know it. But the Japanese guy from
Yeah, from,
Mar-
from the first Godzilla.
yeah, he died.
I really liked seeing him, like him and the girl too. They're both.
Yep,
dead.
that lady was back, yeah.
They just killed off both of them. And that was actually.
Oh, you know what?
pretty
Ice Cube's son is in this movie. Oh, shit.
That is right. That is right. Yeah,
I do like it.
I like him too.
He was also in Straight Outta Compton.
Yes, I know.
like it.
Yeah.
Good. What do you feel about King Ghidorah? Just like overall. King Ghidorah was just
King
massive.
Ghidorah is the best character in the movie. Just the way that the middle head is just like the boss of the two other heads. It's just,
Yeah, and it also kind of like reminds me of like Dumb and Dumber sometimes with how they act because they're all like just attached to each other and they're like, hey, I want to go this way. And they're like, nah, I want to go this way.
dude.
So they kind of all like fight each other.
It was
It's dope.
actually very, very cool. I really want to watch it again because just the way that the three heads interact with each other was very, very good. And when that first head got cut off and it just grew back, I was
Oh,
like, what in the fuck, dude?
yeah.
That was insane, and I was not expecting that at all. That was badass.
No, it definitely was. I also think it's interesting, like that they kind of like can use like the what is that? Like the nuclear breath also, like against
Yes.
King Kong and things like that.
Theirs
Man,
was more
the
light.
elect- Yeah, the
Yeah, that's
electricity
true.
Stuff, like when they were absorbing the power in the very end from like the power plant and everything, that was so tight. It was so
Yeah.
tight. They were very good.
I also like how they like didn't really know what was going on or how they got there and then they're like, yeah, they're nothing from this planet. They're just like aliens basically, and they landed on this
They're a
planet
parasite.
and they're parasite.
They
Exactly.
figured that out. They figured out that it was that it wasn't from Earth by the whole fact that it didn't want the oxygen killer did not work on it at all. It had, like,
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, it only hurt Godzilla.
And that's when
Yeah,
they had to
I
go
thought-
sacrifice freaking the dude.
yeah.
Scenes that stand out to you guys, like
I did like the zoom in shots on Godzilla's face. Like every now and again, he'd like stand up just like big and hunky and it just zoomed.
Dude, he
in
looked
on
like
his
a
face.
beast.
Just mad.
Yeah.
I was like, dude,
He's just like,
someone's about to get jacked to the hell.
It's like, oh, dude, it's about to go down. You could tell.
yeah, I definitely liked that Godzilla was more present in this one. That's part of the reason I liked it a lot more. Like Godzilla it felt like he wasn't even like the star of his own movie in the first one. And this one, like, he definitely at least had a star in the middle, you know.
Yeah. Serpent's amazing. I did. Yeah, the shots in this one were really good.
Yeah, it was just like overall so much better than 2014. Like everything, the characters were done a lot more better. The lighting and everything was a lot better. They really, I think after Kong Skull Island, they like really hit their stride and were able to
They
make this
did.
film better.
Because Kong Skull Island was still the
Still just
Yeah, and I think the only thing Kong. Well, I'm sorry, not Kong. I was thinking of the other one, 2014 Godzilla. The only thing that I think 2014 Godzilla was good for was like a base layer of getting us ready for like these new movies, and that was it. Like,
yeah, no, I agree. Like it was at least a good start. Like, but
yeah, and compared to the others, it was alright. But like,
Yeah,
other than
Like
that,
one of those, it's definitely one of those movies. It's just kind of like it's a movie for the universe, and that's about it. Kind of like it's kind of like Captain Marvel for me. Where Captain Marvel, I don't really care about that film very much, but it at least sets up some stuff for the other films.
Yeah.
mhm.
It teaches you about the
Yeah, exactly. But Kong Skull Island, that's a great movie, like just on its own. Like that.
Yeah.
That movie is cool. You don't have to watch any Godzilla movie or anything else to enjoy that.
Yeah, it's a definitely.
I'm trying to think of anything else from King of the Monsters. Like, I overall enjoyed it. Like, it was solid. There were like things that could have been a bit better, but you know, I don't think it was bad at all.
Yeah. What do you think could have been better about it?
Just like character stuff. Like, I kind of wish we got to see more of Millie Bobby Brown's.
Madison.
Like, yeah, Madison. Like, see, I don't care about the characters too much. Like, I felt for her struggle, but I felt they really could have went a bit deeper into it, or like shown more of it. Like, I don't feel we got to see enough of her and her dad. And it's like her dad popped up, and he's just like this dude that just knows stuff. Kind of like Brian.
Yeah, because he deals with animals. Well, that was his whole thing. He was an animal photographer, so he knows a decent amount about animals. But also the fact that he picked up a gun and just knew how to hold it, and just kind of felt all right with it, was a little weird.
Yeah, it was weird.
Like, there are things in the movie where it's just like people just know stuff, and it's like, okay, but how do you know that? You know?
Yeah.
Like, I get you worked with like Monarch and stuff before and everything, but
Which was
you know more
was
stuff than the
fine.
actual scientists that are doing this.
Yeah,
Even though you hate this stuff, it's like, I don't know. It's just didn't feel very natural. Like some of the character stuff didn't feel supernatural to me. Could have had more monster stuff, but honestly, that's just a personal thing. I just
King of the Monsters?
Yeah,
it was jam.
Dude,
Yeah,
yeah,
I was
it was
full.
tight.
I wanted to see the mammoth monster and the crab monster.
I know you.
I agree. They kind of teased us with it, and then they didn't give us anything about it.
No, you're right. You're right, and that's just like a personal gripe. But damn, I wanted to see more of the mammoth and crab monster, bro. But it was good. It was good. King of the Monsters.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything else to say about it.
It was,
There's
like,
really
it was a film. It was a film. Like, I did like the whole twist of the mom being part of the terrorist organization. Because you didn't know that at first.
I thought that was good. Like, I did not actually pick up on that.
Yeah.
At first.
It was decent.
That was done well.
Like,
And then also, dude, wasn't it a little odd that like all of a sudden, like when the daughter's like in the thing, and I can't think of it. Jesus Christ! Hold on. When the daughter is in the stadium, broadcasting that signal.
Yeah,
when-
off the Orca.
off
the Orca
off
device
the
was really
Orca, right?
Yeah, it's just like,
But basically, like when she's broadcasting the signal, and they're like both like, "Oh, yeah, no, we have to go there," and then they both meet each other there. They're like all of a sudden like, "Where could she be?" And they're like, oh, the house that we used to live in, like that's right down the block, like.
Yeah, because they're from Boston.
Right. But it was like, oh yeah, the house is not too far from here.
Oh,
And then they
it's
like
kinda
drove
it's
for
kinda
like the next
first
5
movie.
minutes.
The first Godzilla movie where it's like, Godzilla's going to San Francisco? My wife and child live there?
Yeah, it was a little weird. Like,
Yeah.
why is he going to San Francisco?
They definitely, like, it's used to, like, set the characters to, you know, go to those places. Like, they have to give them a reason for that. But it's just, it's so like, oh, this is just happening just because it's happening?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they're like, oh no, and there's a weird coincidence that my family's there. Wow, what a strange
My family's
coincidence.
here too?
That's where they live.
Oh, my
Crazy.
relatives live here? I've never visited.
Exactly. I hate that stuff in movies, man.
But still, like, the story overall, it wasn't bad. Like, I like the characters.
Yeah, I like the King of the Monster stuff.
I was looking at the cast list for the new one, and we're getting Millie Bobby Brown back, along with
Yeah, I
the
saw
person
that.
who played her dad, and I think that was it. I think the doctor was on there, but he's dead, so that might just be somebody lying.
Yeah, because the doctor
Or that could be
died.
like flashbacks or something.
Oh yeah. Now we can move on to rating.
Yes.
The way we're gonna do this one is it's like kind of how we did last time. So individual ratings per each movie, and then group rating per each movie. So let's start off with
Ah.
Godzilla 2014. All right, who wants to go first? Corey, I think you should
we'll
go
see what
first.
position. No, I think you should go first because I think my rating might shock you.
Okay. All right. Here's my rating for Godzilla 2014. I give Godzilla 2014. I give it a 4 out of 10.
Okay. Holy cow!
Yeah.
No, not your rating. No, there's something
Okay.
massive. There's
Okay.
something massive over here on this mountain. Someone has nothing to tell. Yeah, you're ready.
What? What are you?
You got any?
You found my house.
The movie is boring. I don't ever want to watch it again. It has a lot of wasted potential. It fucking shows a bunch of monsters and then doesn't show them fight and shows aftermath footage of the fight instead of showing the actual fight, which is very irritating. The tension feels fake, and I don't really care for the characters. But the bus driver scene, damn it, that's a good scene.
Yeah. It's,
Thomas, how do you feel about Godzilla 2014?
Godzilla 2014 is gonna get a 4 from me because I don't like it, and also at the same time, it's got character issues, and like Phoenix was saying about the freaking whole, oh yeah, here's all these monsters, watch them. No,
Watch them not fight. Watch these
right?
monsters
Just watch,
not-
watch them about to. Oh no, they're not fight. Yeah, you can't watch them fight. Like it's just irritating.
It was so irritating. Man.
If we could have watched them fight, then yes, it would have gotten them. I think it would have got a
They
better
would've-
score.
It would have
But, like,
gotten like at least a 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
Fights.
Yeah, but there's just
Like-
no fights. There's no. The characters are there, yeah, I guess, but like other than that,
That's all
like,
they are. They're just there. Like they're not like
Exactly.
offensively bad, but they're not good.
yeah, and they don't like leave impression on you. To where like freaking Kong Skull Island, you like kind of understood what was going on
Exactly.
through
And
a lot of the characters and how they
you-
felt. Things
exactly.
like
And
that.
they do a lot of another good scene in. Sorry about this, but another good scene in their thing about Kong Skull Island. It's like you have so many scenes where the characters are just like chilling. It's like when they're first all on the boat together, they're just hanging out, taking pictures. You just get a montage of that. When they build the plane boat together, you just get a montage of that. Like they did it very, very well.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna come in with my rating of it's a 5-star. Like,
All right.
I didn't necessarily hate it. It's nowhere near the best, but like, I would watch it again. Like the parts that were really suspenseful were suspenseful. It accomplished its mission. I was there for it. I did enjoy it. I think it was terrible. So what are we hitting for group rating? Like a 4.5?
Yeah, it's fine.
We can do it. That's fine.
We can go for 6. We'll go for 6.
But 6? What? No. No way.
I'm the editor. It's 4.5.
4.5.
You get over it.
Okay. Godzilla 2014. 4.5 Midnight Moons out of 10.
Yeah,
Oh.
Midnight Moons out of 10. I gave it 5 Midnight Moons out of 10. Thomas gave it 4 Midnight Moons out of 10. Phoenix gave it
4 Midnight Moons out of 10.
Ratings. What are we getting out here with these Midnight Moons?
Bruh, I'm giving that thing, man, honestly, I'm gonna give it an 8.5 out of 10 Midnight Moons. That's really good. That's a really good movie. What the fuck was that?
Jesus Christ.
Are you hammered? You hammered something?
Wait, it's so cold. I can't build up that.
Oh my
Okay, Thomas, what do you give Cars the line?
So you said 8.5 is what you
I
said?
said an 8.5, yeah. I was gonna give it an 8 originally, but honestly, I would watch that movie a couple times. Like, that was great.
Compared, I don't know. That movie is really good, and I have to admit that. But I think that I'm gonna have to give it like an 8.
Yeah.
I'm like on the fence, and 8 is as high as I can go.
That's
Just
totally fair.
because, in the sense of, I gave freaking WandaVision 8.5, and WandaVision's definitely better than this Godzilla. Or this
Man.
freaking King Kong. Wherever it was. So, that's how I feel about it. But, yeah.
Dude, what do you give Colin?
Me? Did you give it a rating?
Yeah, I
Eight,
give it 8.5.
8. Thomas went 8. Midnight Moons. Your boy gonna come in there swinging. Yes, it's an 8 Midnight Moons. It's really good.
Yeah.
It's
Oh, shit. Dang, dude, I give something a higher rating, man.
I know.
That's crazy. Yeah, I really liked it though. So
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
It is a monster movie, and comparing it to everything that I've ever seen, I can't give it a 10. But
it was really good. Definitely one of my favorite monster movies. Like, that shit is great.
King Kong's always hit high above the Godzilla. They are always.
Ooh.
All right. You did not. All right. Godzilla King of the Monsters. Our group rating for Kong Skull Island is 8. We're gonna go with 8. Things
8?
good. You coming back down?
Can we go 8.25?
That's fine.
Yeah, 8 and a crescent.
Yeah, 8 and a crescent moon, baby.
Yeah, so King of the Monsters, rated on that. Thomas, go first.
I'm gonna have to go with 9, dog.
Bruh.
Only because
That's wrong.
that movie, does exactly what a Godzilla or a King Kong movie needs to do. Or, sorry, a Godzilla movie needed to do. Which was show a lot of big monsters and freaking have them attack each other. And then on top of that, they had good character development, I felt like, and it kind of just all came together. It all worked well.
Phoenix, how you feeling on King of the Monsters?
I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10.
Yep, I'm a 10.
Midnight Moons. I give it a 7 out of 10 Midnight Moons. It's definitely a fun monster movie to watch, but like comparing it to Kong Skull Island, I had a way better time with Kong Skull Island. I like way more characters, even side characters in Kong Skull Island when compared to Godzilla King of the Monsters. It was still fun, but like I did not care about a lot of the stuff as much as I did in Kong Skull Island.
Yeah, no, for real. I'm gonna join you there at that 7 Midnight Moons out of 10. Like, hell yeah, Kong was better.
Yeah, Kong was so.
I almost want to give it a 6, but Kong.
Yeah, no, I can't give it a 6. I mean, I did still enjoy it, and I liked the monster fights, and it was good to watch.
Like, I loved it. Like, it was a good movie, and it was still just watching it again. The whole spectacle of it all was still amazing. But if I'm comparing everything in that movie compared to what I witnessed in Kong, like, there's only.
We're not comparing it to Kong. We're just comparing it to how we felt about it. What's the review for it?
Yeah,
We're not comparing it to anything.
Yeah, that's my own personal view. I have to compare it to other films, especially in the series. Oh my god! No.
Bro, what did you do, man?
Lava.
Maybe you can run into
Pretty,
just
8?
Time, bro.
Hell, I got mine.
Yeah, 8 Midnight Moons combined score. That's what the combined score is.
Yeah,
Sweet.
At 8. I don't really want to give it an 8. Can we go for 7.5?
Nah, dog.
No, 8.
Nah.
8's fair.
I'm okay with it. If anything, we could do 7 3/4, but at that point,
Okay, I can hit 7.3.
Nah.
we can do 7 3/4. That's fine.
7.3. Pretty good. How do we feel about the series so far as a whole?
Good, honestly. Like it's, I think the beginning was a bit rocky, but both movies after the first one were very, very good.
There's only
Yep.
3 films.
Yeah, there are only 3 films in. Like, if Godzilla vs. Kong is good, like, I'm invested. Like, I already am pretty invested after watching Kong Skull Island again, because I want to see that big fucking ape destroy Godzilla. Lizard must die. That's all I
I mean, I love Godzilla. He's my man.
Yeah,
But also,
Godzilla is dope.
jack him the hell up like there's no
Exactly, dude. There's no dubbing, no W's, no. It's not gonna ace. It's not gonna.
Nah, he's getting 1 kill this match. It's just as simple.
Exactly. It's just not gonna work out.
All right.
Thomas, what do you think about the series as a whole?
Well, I really like the series as a whole, man. Like you said, freaking first movie, Rocky, kind of sucked, but also at the same time is a decent base level to kind of build upon, and then other 2 movies were better.
Hell yeah.
And I think you guys were a little mistaken there when you were talking about it, but you guys were talking about the next movie, and you were saying there's only 1 kill. I think you meant to say there's only 1 death, and that's going to be the death of Kong. But that's fine. That's fine. I understand. That was an easy mistake. So
Walk
Where
towards
you
me.
at?
I'm stuck in this ground. I think I can see your name.
Phoenix, where is this dude?
Is it me? Am I moving right now?
Yeah, you're moving. You're
I'm walking
going
towards you.
to my right.
To your right. Do I need to go this way?
Nah, you can come closer to me. Someone's digging near me. Oh my god, Thomas. Dude, oh
What
my
up, bro?
God.
Oh, dude.
What you doing here?
See you. Oh, I'm over there.
Help me. Yeah.
How's it going, bro?
Get me out of here. Alright, everyone. This has been the Midnight Review. This has been
Oh, sorry, Thomas.
This has been Midnight Review, hosted by me, Matt. I'm joined by Phoenix of Phoenix's Void on Twitch.tv and YouTube. I am also joined by Thomas of Introverted on Twitch.tv and YouTube also. We have the Midnight Critics. Thank you. Comment, like, subscribe. Much love in the community. Represent that.
We love the community. We're
We love you all. We love you all.
We love you.
You guys, take it easy. Peace.
Goodbye.
It's definitely going to be good. So, do we want to go into our ratings now, or does anyone have anything else to say?
Minecraft is hard. Are you fucking kidding me? I died again? Jesus Christ.
Dude, this
Sorry.
chasm goes deeper than it should be. I'm back. Okay, I wanted to show you something.
Bro, you keep dying, man.
That's a blooper.
Epic Gamer Phoenix here.
Alright, you
Time
guys
some
ready
Epic
for the
Gamer.
intro?
Yes, here we go.
Boobs. Okay.
Okay, stop it.
Okay.
What's wrong with boobs,
Hello,
Phoenix? You don't
welcome
like
back to the-
boobs?
Oh my god, dude. Stop it. We're not opening with that.
Boobs. Alright, hello everyone, welcome back to the Midnight Boobs. I'm
Oh
Jordan.
my fucking god.
Not good, okay. But math, okay.
But math. Okay. That's a blooper. A bloober.
Bloober? Is that what you named it?
That's literally the. If you looked at
It says
the,
bloober.
it does.
I didn't even notice the spelling.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Well, luckily it's spinning. I think people can't tell, but Phoenix did.
Yeah.
Hurt my soul.
Okay,